for JacobTubeHD and welcome back to the movie I want to talk about. The show that chooses a month about love to review a film about killing your ex-lover. Or someone you had a kid with. To some, that's the same thing, and to others, that's two different things. I don't like to judge here. The month of love strikes again with two films that is just one film split into two parts because apparently both films together would have been too long. It's not like two films that are over 3 hours would end up making over $1 billion at the box office after the two films I'm looking at today were released. Now I know these films are about murder because they're both about killing Bill, but I think it's about love. Murder is a very strong show of love. You love someone so much they shouldn't live anymore. I'm not justifying murder because that's bad, besides flies, they deserve to die. I'm justifying why this is a love story. It's a very insane way to break up with your ex, but stops you from thinking about them. Taylor Swift can't top what happens in these films. She just writes songs about her exes and then sends her army of a fan base to attack them online. The bride tries to murder her ex-lover. Taylor Swift couldn't get away with murder. Actually, with her fan base, she probably could. She can get away with crashing Ticketmaster and getting a concert film to be one of the highest grossing films of 2023. She can get away with anything, including crimes. Now, normally this is the part where I would try to find something to make fun of her about, but I'm afraid of getting attacked by her fan base. Her fans are just as scary, if not more scarier, than K-pop fans. But this isn't about Taylor Swift. This is about Uma Thurman. So let's teach a generation what SZA named her song after. This is Kill Bill, Volume 1. This film is about the bride emerging from a 4-year coma due to taking a bullet in the head at her own wedding. She decides to take her revenge out on her former boss and his deadly squad of international assassins. This film was the fourth film written and directed by Quentin Tarantino and stars Uma Thurman, who had previously worked with Tarantino on Pulp Fiction. Originally, both Kill Bills would have been one giant movie, but that cut ended up being over 4 hours, so the film was split into 2 volumes, with them releasing 6 months apart from each other. This first part just throws you straight into the action, and I love it. After the opening credits, we're just thrusted into the thick of it, which immediately hooks you into this film's story. This film has some of the most brilliant action scenes I've ever seen. The fact that there's no music underneath most of the action scenes places you on the edge of your seat even more than a regular fight scene. This is gorier than any film I've covered on this show, and I reviewed Evil Dead and Nightmare on Elm Street, so that's saying something. There's so much blood here that one of the major fight scenes switched to black and white so the film could keep its R rating. That's how crazy it gets. Everyone here shines in their roles, and the film does a great job at teasing the characters we won't see in this volume, but will in the next. With any film like this that has been split into 2 parts, it's going to feel somewhat incomplete, but this film's ending has a satisfying conclusion while also getting you excited for the next part in the story. The cinematography is brilliant, and the music is incredible, especially for the scenes they are placed in. Some of the songs are produced by RZA from Wu-Tang Clan, which is surprising to me, but also incredible. Also, there's an animated sequence in this film that is beautiful to look at despite how gory it can get. This movie hooks you in with its action and keeps you on the edge of your seat with its gripping story. Kill Bill Volume 1 gets a 4 out of 5 pussy wagons. Murder is a great love language as shown by this film, even though a lot of people lost their limbs. Arms, legs, heads. Either she really loves these people or I'm going to jail for saying murder is a love language. I got another film here to try and prove my point, so let's dive into this next chapter. This is Kill Bill Volume 2. This film is about the bride continuing her revenge she started in the first film. She has 3 more names left on her list to kill. The other 2 assassins that betrayed her, and the ultimate confrontation with Bill himself. There isn't much else to add here, as everything extra I said about Volume 1 can be applied for Volume 2. This volume isn't as action-packed as the first volume, but that doesn't take away from how good this movie is. This film is more dialogue-heavy than the last film, but this allows the actors to shine more in their performances, which are as brilliant as they were last time. That doesn't mean this film has no action scenes. There's a good amount here that are just as phenomenal as the first film. The movie likes to take its time, and it's much needed after how fast and crazy Volume 1 was. Every piece of action here is earned through being engaged with the story the film is telling. It also makes the confrontation with Bill earned. Speaking of the confrontation with Bill, it's nice that it isn't an immediate fight between the two of them. We actually get to sit down with the characters of the bride and Bill and get to learn about the history of these two, as well as a twist that was revealed at the end of Volume 1 that I won't spoil. Getting to sit with those characters before they fought made going through both films worth it, especially when you're invested in the journey. Every other praise I have for this film was said when I talked about Volume 1, since they are both the same movie. This film is a lot less action-oriented, but it rewards you with action-packed moments for investing in its captivating narrative that has a beautiful conclusion to two films. Kill Bill Volume 2 gets a 4 to 5 squished eyeballs. Now, normally this is where I do an overview of the franchise, but I can't really do an overview here because it's only two films and both of them are just the same film split in half. Just combine my thoughts on both films and that's the overview. So I guess murder isn't really a love language. At least I never justified it, even though it kind of sounded like I did. All I said was that I thought it could show someone you cared about them. But after watching these movies, I don't think the bride cared for any of these people she killed. Do I have any warrants out for my arrest? Nah, I couldn't. I don't love anyone. There's no way I could be wanted for murder. I could be wanted for dodging taxes, though, because that's my favorite sport. Nah, I think I'm good. Everything's fine. Murder is not a love language, and Taylor Swift has a rabid fan base. Those are my takeaways from this episode. Mainly the Taylor Swift one. They think she's more famous than Michael Jackson and that she should be on the cover of the next Madden game. They are rabid and delusional, and please don't attack me. I'm a very fragile person.